So my name is Vitaly Pecherskiy. I'm a co-founder and a chief operating officer at StackAdapt. So my role at the company is to help it grow. StackAdapt is a programmatic advertising platform. So we started with focus on native advertising, and over the last 9 years, we've expanded into being a multi-channel platform. And some of the reasons why customers choose to work with us is because we've built one of the best platforms for actually executing the media buying. We have invested heavily into our machine learning and AI capabilities for lots of different operations on the platform, and overall, just the way we treat our customers. If I was to name 3 trends that are impacting the landscape, certainly a big one is privacy, and it means it triggers sort of a number of other trends, such as contextual advertising, for example. There's a big trend around digitization of new channels like digital out of home or digitization of TV in favor of connected TV. And the third one would be automation. So increasingly, we're seeing success in using machine learning, scalable tools like machine learning, in order to make decisions to deliver very precise messaging to the user. I would say one tip on how to improve digital advertising performance would be to just invest a lot more into research stage before you launch any campaigns. On one hand, you have more automated systems like machine learning systems that can make sense out of vast amount of first-party data, for example, to make decisions about who actually delivers the message. On the other hand, you have more manual approach to deriving insights about your users. So that's maybe more work. So for example, running panel interviews, doing customer surveys. It's a lot more work, but a lot fewer people do them. And I think that's what presents a big opportunity for marketers. One of the tactical ways to gather that first party data or intelligence around your customer is through running, for example, brand lift studies, where you can ask users about their brand preference, how has seeing specific ad impacted their recall of a brand. So doing something like that is a very valuable way to segment the users around which of the users are ready to buy, for example, or which users might need further communication. Answering that question, I'll break it down into 2 sections. So first, contextual advertising talks about essentially around content next to which advertising appears, whereas the concept of a channel is more about the ad format or the device through which the ad is delivered. So if we look specifically at contextual advertising, we run numbers internally, and in about 60% of the cases, we have contextual advertising outperforming third-party data. And we attribute that to the fact that contextual advertising, you can deliver the message right in the moment in time when the user is researching a specific topic or maybe a competitive brand. And when we talk about multi-channel, it's a question of really being omnipresent. And we've run studies where we can compare the performance of, in isolation, just native advertising or just display advertising and combined. And in the case where native advertising and display advertising was running side by side, we've seen an improvement in cost per acquisition by about 6 times. So there's a very compelling, both qualitative and a quantitative case for running multi-channel campaigns. I would say AI is on a pretty good trend in terms of its adoption. And if we look at just some of the successes that we've had of using AI for our platform, we use AI, for example, in delivering contextual advertising campaigns, building lookalike audiences. So if we, for example, compare the performance of lookalike targeting next to retargeting, in 40% of the cases, we see that lookalike targeting can outperform even retargeting, which is pretty amazing because these are the users that haven't even potentially been to your website yet. So there's a very compelling case for using AI, and we definitely feel very optimistic about the future of using AI in advertising. In terms of its roadblocks, I would say it really comes down to having challenges related to potentially a small amount of data. If it's a new emerging brands or it's a new product launch, you may have limited amount of data, which will make it challenging for AI to learn from. Or if you want to, for example, be on very specific pages, and speaking about contextual advertising, if you want to be on very precise specific pages, maybe AI targeting is not one of those tools. So for that, you want to use more manual algorithm writing tools that a person can do themselves. So in-game advertising definitely caught my attention earlier this year, and there's many reasons why. First, I would say it's the scale at which it already exists. With 3 billion people globally playing video games, there's a lot of users that can be reached through this ad format. Second, it brings the same level of targetability that we see in other channels, for example, connected TV. So you're able to programmatically deliver very relevant ad to the user that plays the game. And the third one would be measurement. So the channel, like an in-game advertising, benefits from the same measurement abilities as other digital channels. So be that incrementality testing or post-impression conversion. There's lots of ways to understand the impact of this ad format. That combination of scale, targeting, and measurement really closely resembles other really successful channels. So by just looking at what is successful, I can pretty confidently say that there's going to be a lot more growth in that channel. Undeniably, it's the community and the network that is built through this platform. And for us as a company, having started in North America and now having expanded globally, this is an invaluable opportunity to meet advertisers and partners globally in new areas of the world, build these relationships. I'm absolutely confident that it's going to be a long-lasting, productive relationship.